Welcome to what will be Monday morning marketing, but we decided to launch with a marketing advent calendar. You might be wondering why we would choose a marketing advent calendar, and I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that it was some brilliant idea that came in the middle of the night that I jotted down on my bedside table. What actually happens is every December, I look forward to the coffee advent calendar from Onyx Coffee Roasters. And this year's was so beautiful that I thought there's no way that this should be consumed without sharing, but just sharing about coffee probably wouldn't have a large audience. So I figured we'd talk about marketing a little bit too. So today we're gonna talk about geofencing and geofarming, which is really fun. Super quick lesson. We'll only be here about 5 minutes. I'm going to show you this coffee advent calendar so you know what we're working with every day. Yes, you heard that right. We'll be here every day for the next 24 days with awesome little bits of marketing knowledge and info for beginner, intermediate, advanced marketers to learn, increase the return on investment of your strategies, try new strategies, basically just make your marketing better. So if we come over here, take a look at what we're working with on the advent calendar. We're going to take a quick peek so that I can begin brewing coffee and talking geofencing. So look at this, unboxing experience, right? It's crazy. So we have here, these are all the little coffees that I'll have for each day. Beautiful packaging. They've got information about how to brew espresso, where all the coffees come from, how they roast coffee. Very informative. You could read the box for a while, but we're going to go ahead and brew coffee. So this is, along with being a fun little card, and I love their slogan, never settle for good enough. I certainly do that when it comes to coffee. They also have their offerings. So today we are going to be making what they call Krampus. So they start off with Krampus and they finish with Framley. And Krampus is a washed Kenyan coffee. So I've already brewed my 20 grams of coffee. I've got my water heated up to 85 degrees Celsius. We are brewing on the Kalita Wave using a 185 filter, and that's a flat bottom brew method. Now that I'm thinking about it, probably not the best choice if you're doing a washed Kenyan, but we're gonna see how it comes out anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead and start going through this process, and I'm gonna put water on the filter. I'm going to bloom the coffee. I'm gonna brew. I'm gonna pour for, pour to 60 grams, let it bloom, and I'm gonna pour some more water, and it will be finished. So I'll be doing that in the background while talking to you about geofencing. So for those of you who don't know what geofencing is, it's a little bit different than when we just focus on putting a radius around a zip code. And people who have not actually used the full power of geofencing might tell you that those are kind of the same thing, but they're really not. So for example, if I'm just wanting to do a little radius around my zip code to target, that doesn't give me a lot of specificity. Sure, I will target people who are in or were in my zip code, but that can be really general, right? Especially if your zip code is big. So geofencing would allow me to, for example, trace a perimeter around my house. And I could target anybody who had been at my house within whatever time frame I want to put in. So we get lots of control with our geofencing. And when you target someone after they have been inside of the geofence, we call it geofarming. Now, not everybody calls it that, but you can call it that. So geofencing allows us to either target people while they are at a place or target people who we know have been to a certain place. And if your brain works like mine does, you're probably already imagining all sorts of cool examples for how you could use geofencing and geofarming for your own strategies or for your clients, whoever it may be, but it gets a little bit more exciting than that. Let's think about some examples. So let's say, even in COVID, because geofencing obviously a lot more helpful when people are going places, but people don't have to be going places for geofencing to be helpful. So for example, let's say that you want to, target veterinarians. Well, you could put a geofence around a veterinarian's office, and then you could make sure you collect a list of only the people who work at that office. Now, you're probably thinking, how would you do that? You have people coming in and out of the office all day. Wouldn't you be targeting their patients? And what you can do to avoid that is you can actually put a time limit on it. So, or an amount of time that someone has to be there. So somebody has to have been there for 4 hours or more, or 8 hours or more. That way we know we're getting the right people. So that's one really cool use of geofencing. Another one would be, hey, I've got some, some billboards out or some bus stop advertising out. And for those of you who are like only into digital marketing, you're probably thinking like, do people still do that? And they do. Print advertising is alive and well and definitely has its place. And so maybe what you do is you put a little geofence around all those bus stops because you know that you're going to target an ad to someone who also saw your advertisement there. So now we're getting more saturation of their exposure to your brand, more frequency, more different places so that we can get more conversions. The other time you might want to use it, here's another great example. So we have our favorite patisserie down the road and we've been chatting a lot about marketing, and something I suggested to him is, hey, why don't you put a geofence around this market, and anytime someone comes in, we would assume that they know about your business. And if we can assume that they know about your business, then that's probably someone that's going to be worthwhile to spend money on. Also, same thing, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, best time to come in. What could you do? Put a geofence a little bit larger, maybe around, do it, within 1.5 miles of that building. So then when you know it's time for people to come in, you actually hit them with ads when they are nearby and give them a reason to come in. So geofencing can be a really powerful tool. You need to find a platform that has real geofencing capabilities. We work with and love using Simplify. There are others out there. So if you have questions about geofencing, if you have interest in running a campaign, if you want some more resources, please just go ahead and email me. The information and details will be below or above, depending on where you are viewing this video. But our coffee is done. We have 350 grams of washed Kenyan coffee to enjoy today. And tomorrow we will be back to talk a little bit more marketing, a little bit less coffee. You already saw the calendar, so we'll only do that tour once. So a lot more marketing next time. But hopefully this was helpful and useful. Please let me know any feedback, questions, or thoughts that you have. Thanks.